This video will contain heavy spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised. Black Panther 2 is a beautiful movie about the power of forgiveness. Letting go of our past anguish is a daunting task. Making peace with those who wronged us takes incredible strength. Marvel's latest release demonstrates the harm of holding on to past suffering. T'Challa's tale is about his role in the Black Panther legacy. Shuri's story, by contrast, is focused on her becoming worthy of the mantle. She can live her brother's wishes or take the path of Killmonger. At first, revenge seems like the only logical choice. After losing almost everyone she cares about, anger consumes her heart. But as she looks into Namor's eyes, she sees his humanity. Everyone acts aggressively because they are afraid of colonization. By forgiving those who wronged her, Shuri finally recognizes the future her brother wished for. Holding on to resentments can destroy our mental health. Practicing forgiveness can help us understand each other on a deeper level. Black Panther 2 is also an influential movie in terms of meaningful representation. For starters, we have two powerful and intelligent black women who are the leaders of STEM. The first superhero who has an indigenous background. Ludwig Göransson incorporated traditional instruments from Mayan and Nigerian music. Even the story itself is loosely based on real historical events. It's inspiring to think about all the children around the world who now have mainstream representation in Marvel. We all need characters we can relate to on a personal level, a role model we can use as inspiration in times of sadness. So today, I want to discuss the importance of forgiveness and cultural representation in Black Panther 2. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe so you always see my latest content. Shuri demonstrates to us throughout the movie how resentment harms her. She isolates herself from her friends and family. Much of her decision making isn't calm and collected. Once she practices forgiveness, her demeanor changes. She grows as a character from the support of her social resources. Dealing with all this sadness alone is too much. The intro to this movie was heartbreaking. One of the most coveted parts of acting is embodying realness. When actors or actresses really get into character, we get sucked in. But the opening isn't acting. Part of what makes Black Panther 2 so powerful is that the story of loss is real. Chadwick Boseman's death was a tragedy that struck the world. In the context of the film, T'Challa's passing took hold of Shuri's heart. While her mom was able to make peace, she still holds on to her feelings. Anger and spite seem like powerful motivators, but they are ultimately destructive. The Dalai Llama and Desmon Tutu talk about the power of forgiveness in the Book of Joy. These two experienced great hardships in their lives that truly tested the human spirit. Even though they suffered greatly, they still preach a message of internal resolution. Forgiving someone isn't absolving them of their wrongdoing. Rather, we are letting go of stored sadness. While the list of benefits from practicing forgiveness is extensive, some directly apply to the film. One problem is that when we don't forgive, we also don't forget. Reliving the pain of past trauma isn't constructive. Reminding ourselves of all the sadness we endured only makes us feel worse. Shuri is haunted by her past. She believes she could have saved T'Challa, so she refuses to forgive herself. Internalizing our depressive feelings makes us lose perspective. Rather than take the time she needs to mourn her loss, she points her feelings towards the perceived enemy. The final issue that comes from denying forgiveness is the cycle of violence. Namor and Shuri are blinded by the anger they feel toward one another, but empathy sets both their hearts free. We've been covering the negatives of denying forgiveness, but how about the positives? On a personal level, letting go of the past can offer us a peace of mind. Shuri feels closer to her brother after she accepts his death. Another benefit of forgiveness is improved self-esteem. There's no denying our hero's accomplishments. Shuri has an intellect that rivals some of Marvel's greatest minds, although a negative internal critic can destroy her self-confidence. When she stops blaming herself for T'Challa's death, she remembers her strength. Practicing forgiveness has one final benefit that has limitless value. When we forgive, we must empathize with those who hurt us. Namor sees the image of his mother after his enemy offers him a peaceful resolution. Cycles of violence can be devastating in the long haul. Prolonged wars can have extensive casualties. In all these cases, forgiveness is the only healthy way forward. One of the most powerful parts of the Black Panther series is the meaningful cultural expression. This film shows black women as some of the greatest minds in STEM, which is so important. Shuri helps remind young black girls that they can be anything they put their minds to. The same is true in terms of portraying power. Many wrongly assume that women are weak, but nothing is further from the truth. Or how about the series of discussions around colonization? Killmonger and Namor both have real-world equivalents. Namor's empire represents the civilization of Maya. They were invaded by Spanish conquistadors during the 16th century. The smallpox disease that ravaged Namor's community is also historically accurate. Killmonger and T'Challa are both black, but they have completely different experiences. The Black Panther knows his ancestry. He is a community because of his lineage. Killmonger, on the other hand, lives in a callous system that disregards his existence. The term African American was created for those whose family origin is unclear. Many black people who were the descendants of slaves had their culture and history destroyed. Black Panther expertly deconstructs these disparate experiences. T'Challa was afforded so many luxuries that Killmonger lacked due to his insulation from colonization. Another powerful representation of culture is the music. Ludwig Göransson traveled around the world to record with upcoming Mexican and Nigerian artists. Many traditional instruments are used throughout the different tracks. Integrating cultural elements into the soundtrack elevates the experience to new heights. Namor is also an important addition to the MCU. A Mexican superhero spreading awareness about the damage of imperialism sends a powerful message to audiences. Ruth E. Carter was the first black woman to win the Costume Design Award, which really shows in both films. The Black Panther series is a solid story about finding meaning and peace in the face of adversity, but the powerful cultural representation in these films makes them more than just superhero stories. Thanks for checking out this breakdown. I really appreciate it. Black Panther 2 is an inspiring story about the everlasting connections with those we love. Rather than uphold the status quo, this series shines a powerful light on the impacts of colonization. Depicting various cultures with reverence and grace helps audiences engage with different ways of life. We all need a role model who has experiences similar to our own. After suffering a loss, we can lose track of who we are. Shuri is filled with Killmonger's rage until she practices forgiveness. Namor might have destroyed Wakanda if he didn't let go of his past. More than anything, T'Challa preached a message of empathy and understanding. Shuri carries on his legacy by living these values as the new Black Panther. What was your favorite part of Black Panther 2? How do we get more meaningful representation in mainstream culture? I'd love to hear from you.